Are you guys planning a trip to Europe, or specifically Madrid, the capital of Spain? Well, if so, this video just might be for you. You see, Madrid, a city of 6 million plus people, is a city that has one of the best urban park systems in all of Europe and the world for that matter. And in this video, I'm going to show you the best parks that you must visit if you come to Madrid. Are you ready? Me too. Vamos!
Alright guys, let's get this list started with a park that many of you Madrid enthusiasts possibly haven't even heard of, let alone people that haven't visited Madrid, and that is Parque de Europa. And oh my god, if you're coming to Madrid with kids, this park is just next level. Now, if you do a search of popular parks in Madrid, this park might not actually pop up, and that's because of its location in the outskirts of Madrid in Torrejón de Ardoz, next to the famous Alcalá de Henares. But it's still worth a visit because it's easy to get to via the commuter train system leaving from Atocha Central train station. Anyways, Parque Europa is just a gigantic and fun-filled park that has replicas of the most emblematic monuments from Europe's major cities, from the Eiffel Tower to the London Bridge. It's even got a fragment of the Berlin Wall donated free of charge by the Berlin City Wall, and in addition to all these replicas, there's also so many fun attractions for kids, such as a zip wire, a boating lake, archery, trampolines, pony rides, laser tag, etc. And so definitely come check out this place in Madrid. I didn't discover until I had been living in Madrid for over a year. Oh yeah, it's also free to get into. Definitely check this place out. Number 7, Parque Capricho. Built in 1784 by the Duke and Duchess of Osuna in the outskirts of Madrid near Barajas Airport, for many years this park fell into disrepair, but since has been revamped and is easily one of the city's most beautiful and surprisingly least known parks. You guys, this park is just a wealth of botanical treasures and wonderful sculptures, and even has a labyrinth. I couldn't believe I didn't discover this park earlier on in my time in Madrid, but hopefully you don't make the same mistake that I did. Anyways, this park also has what appears to be royal gardens and pathways, kind of like what you'd see in Retiro Park but on a smaller scale. It's also immaculately maintained like all the other parks you'll see on this list, something that Madrid does exceptionally well and better than most other cities in Europe. Lastly, if you like history, this park has a hidden gem that is the Spanish Civil War bunkers, which served as the Republican headquarters. It's always impressive to consider the layers upon layers of history that all these places seem to offer Madrid and Spain in general. Number 6, Parque del Oeste, or the Park of the West. Conveniently, this park is centrally located next to the Moncloa neighborhood and the university area, which has plenty to offer in itself. Parque del Oeste is a vast and beautiful green space that features some interesting cultural sites like the Templo de Debod, an Egyptian temple gifted by the Egyptian government during the construction of the Aswan Dam. More importantly, there are some mighty impressive rose gardens here, and I highly suggest visiting the park in the months of April and May, where you can get that fresh weather and spring bloom without overheating. I really didn't discover how big this park actually was until I had lived in Madrid for over a year, so I reckon you should go there exploring to find out for yourself. Lastly, this park also has a cable car that connects you to Madrid's largest and most wild park, Casa de Campo, on the other side of the Manzanares River, which you'll hear more about later in this video. It's also worth noting that the Templo de Debod just might be the best place to catch a late night sunset. Speaking of sunsets, let's go to another park that Madrileños love to go catch a summer sunset, overlooking the city at number 5, El Cerro del Tio Pio, or the Parque de las Siete Tetas, or the Park of the Seven Tits. You heard that right. This park is known for having 7 big titties. It's nestled into this neighborhood in southeastern Madrid called Puente de Vallecas, and it's known for having some of the best views in the city. Now, what I found unique about this park is that you'll find an interesting mix of people, mostly locals as well as Spanish speakers from other countries, as Puente de Vallecas is known to have a large Latin American immigrant population. I swear, sometimes I felt like I was in Ecuador, Colombia, or Venezuela last time I visited. It's one of those parks that will always be filled with life, yet certainly there are less tourists than the top 4 parks I have on this list. As I mentioned earlier, this is the place to observe some of Madrid's most stunning sunsets. Oh yeah, don't forget a bottle of La Rioja wine and some snacks, because You can hang out here to the late hours of night, even later than 10 p.m. during June and July to catch some of the longest days of the year. For number 4, let's head back to the center of Madrid to a place called Campo del Moro. This park is another special place on the downslope of a hill underneath the Royal Palace. And this area is comprised of gardens and courtyards created by Philip II. It's easily one of Madrid's most hidden and special spots in spite of it being so centric. Additionally, this park is of historic and cultural significance. As the story goes, Campo del Moro was named after Ali ben Yusuf's attempt to reconquer the Moorish Alcazar in the year of 1109, and his Muslim troops camped there, but they did not conquer, hence the name Campo del Moro. Today, this park boasts a classical design inspired by the Royal Gardens of England, and despite its easily accessible location from some of Madrid's main sites, it's a tranquil oasis of nature and especially a perfect spot for a romantic stroll. Bonus tip, I'd say this park is by far one of the most beautiful spots to visit in the months of April and May, which is when this video is from. Just look at this greenery and the blossoming trees. Nice! Number 3 keeps us in the center of Madrid to a park called Madrid Rio Park, or the Madrid River Park. This park is a long, windy, and narrow park that runs parallel to the river Manzanares in Madrid. Yet again, the city does an immaculate job of infusing urban attractions with natural scenery. And don't be surprised if you spot wildlife here while simultaneously looking at the classic Spanish architecture in the background. Simply put, this is Madrid's most active park, and one where most city slickers come to get exercise while staying in the center. On a random weeknight, you'll encounter hundreds of people out exercising, whether it's with a Zumba class or rollerblading. In fact, I've never seen so many rollerbladers in one place in my life. Not to mention it's extremely family friendly with 17 separate playgrounds, basically a giant jungle gym, or every kid's dream park. Culturally speaking, it connects you to some of the places like the Matadero de Madrid, as well as showcasing medieval bridges like the Puente de Segovia or the Puente de Toledo. If your goal is to be active and explore a park that connects you from one interesting point to the next, Madrid Rio Park is just for you. Alright guys, we're almost to number 1, so let's keep this list going at number 2 in the park of Casa de Campo. Now this park is my personal favorite of Madrid because it gives Madrid that perfect dynamic of urban mixed with rural in one of Europe's biggest cities. This park was originally the hunting grounds for the royal elites of the city, but nowadays it's a place for both locals and tourists. It features a massive lake, an amusement park, a zoo, an aquarium, and even a cable car that gives you sweeping views of the mountain range to the north and the historic city center to the east. If you want, you can stay close to the Metro Line 10, which will bring you downtown to the Plaza de España, or you can simply get lost within the massive network of trails without hardly seeing another soul. Trust me, I've done it multiple times. In fact, Casa de Campo is so big that it's 5 times the size of Central Park in New York City, and it's largely responsible for the fact that Madrid has the highest number of trees per inhabitants in European cities. I bet you didn't know that fact. Dun 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 dun! Alright you guys, we're finally at number 1, and the number 1 park you must visit if you come to Madrid, I bet you can guess it, El Parque del Buen Retiro, simply known as Parque Retiro. Now this park is centrally located right next to the Puerta de Alcalá and Paseo de Prado, all of which were recently named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Ironically, Madrid's first in a country that is absolutely packed with these cultural sites. Originally a royal hangout back in the day for the royal elites of Madrid, today it's famous for its wide paved paths, the sparkling crystal palace, immaculate stone fountains and sculptures, and the massive man-made lake in the center complete with rentable rowboats. How romantic. Upon arrival, you'll be left with that holy shit, I'm actually in Spain and Europe. It's really a dream come true. And until you get there, you truly haven't experienced vintage Madrileño culture without buying yourself a bottle of La Rioja wine, queso manchego, and having a small picnic with your friends while you watch the Spanish sunset next to the statue of King Alfonso XIII. Now, although Retiro Park is definitely a major tourist spot filled with tourist attractions, you can still get away and get lost there. I could talk about this park for days, you guys, and I could probably make a video 10 minutes long talking just about this park, but I'll leave it at this. It's definitely Madrid's most impressive park. It's basically a perfect urban park, similar to what Central Park is in New York City, and one you just can't skip if you're visiting Madrid. And there you have it, you guys. Those are 8 must-visit parks of Madrid. I could have made this video a lot longer, but I'll leave it up to you guys to discover and explore these parks for yourself, whether you're coming to visit or to live here in Madrid. Easily one of Europe's finest cities. I also want to give an honorable mention to some other parks in Madrid that didn't make the list because I just felt like they didn't match up to what I was looking for in this video, either because they were too far from the center, too small, or just didn't impress me as much as other ones on the list. Those are Jardines de Sabatini, Royal Botanical Gardens, Garden of the Prince of Anglona, Parque Juan Carlos I, Parque Quinta de los Molinos, and Dehesa de la Villa. Keep in mind, you guys, this is just my opinion, and feel free to share yours in the comment section. Now, if you like this video and you want more adventure and travel style videos in both English and Spanish from around Spain and the rest of the Spanish-speaking world, go ahead and subscribe for more content. My goal as a content creator is to visit every Spanish-speaking country and territory in the world and document it all to understand the true impact that the Spanish language has had on the world. And I want to do it with you guys one video at a time. So until the next video, hasta luego.